Yep.
Yeah.
If you need the camera is over there. And then I'll just put on the audio as well. Okay.
Yep.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
Dimitri from Popcorker here, and I'm with Christer Bjorkman. You know, the really, really big name, and the really Papa Melodifestival, we should say. So, so it's such an honor to be here and sitting next to you, because I have so many questions regarding Melodifestival. You've literally changed the whole concept when you started as an executive producer. And this show has just gotten so popular. Do you feel that there's an immense pressure every year to just be just getting the show even bigger than it is?
Yes, absolutely. Of course, there's pressure from the audience, there's pressure from media, there's pressure from the channel for us to deliver flawlessly and better every year. But it's also triggered. Because you can never sit back and enjoy too long what you did good last year. You always have to look forward, and you always have to remember that if you look at a TV show like a company, there's a philosophy saying that in order to be able to remain the biggest, you always have to adjust or change something like 10% of your concept every year. And you can either do that by doing 10 every year, or you can do like 5 one year and 15 the third year. But you always have to keep changing and developing and adjusting. And as long as you feel that you can do that, and it makes sense, it's not only a construction.
Yeah.
Because sometimes changes become a construction, and that's not good. They have to be generic, and they have to be. There has to be a reason for them. And as long as we feel that we have the drive and the passion and the energy to keep changing and throwing in new ideas, that long I feel comfortable doing it.
This year, some of the changes that were made, you guys reduced the number of songs from 32 to 28. You've also introduced Sweden being able to vote through the app. Are you guys already in a stage where you've been reviewing those changes, or is that something that only comes after?
No, we actually have we've made a really big audience survey, which started a year ago, and we had the results from 14, and we based those results were the base for this year's show. So we created new keywords, or how you say it in English, well, you know, words to use for creating the show. And now we got an evaluation that was made after this year's final, and it proved to be a very good idea to give the program some more space, which was actually why we took out a song, because we felt that the shows were jam-packed.
Right.
And we always forced the host to go on, don't react to the audience, stick to your script, look in the camera, and it became a lack of live sensation for the viewers. They felt it was so perfect it could always have been taped. So our aim for perfection became a problem for us, really. So we knew we needed to add some space in the show, and to make the show longer was not an option, because I think it's like candy. You don't want to be over full, because then you don't want to eat more candy. You always should have that feeling that you want a little bit more. So we tried this with the 7 songs. It worked really nicely. For the first 2 weeks, I felt that the pace was a little bit slow, but then I got used to it, and I felt quite comfortable in it, like at ease, à l'aise, you know. So I'm very happy with the outcome of that, and also, of course, with the app. I mean, the app. Yes, we had some problems with it in final because of the enormous amount of people using it. But I mean, to find a tool that is free, that actually 600,000 of our viewers use, which is an amazing 20% of the entire audience possibility. It's incredible. So I mean, we will just make it perfect next year. We will improve it and make it perfect, and it will be there. And hopefully, we will even have more.
Brilliant. Now, Melodifestivalen on itself is big in Sweden, but it also has a very devoted fan base all over the world. Are there any plans in making perhaps the voting also possible for people outside Sweden, or is that not really a route that you want to go down to?
We've talked about it, but very, very loosely, because we have the international jury.
Yeah.
So, and as long as that works, and as long as we have that, and things are never forever, so we don't know when we feel that we don't need them anymore, but we do now. But I don't think we need both. But in the future, if we decide not to have international juries, it could be an option to let the fans around Europe vote instead. So it's not ruled out at all, but we don't think we need two ways of voting from the outside at the moment.
Now, it feels to me like when your duties of being executive producer of Melodifestivalen are finished, you're immediately becoming the head of delegation for Sweden at Eurovision, so you're working then with the artists. And then when that's finished, I'm assuming that you're reviewing the whole concept. Do you ever take any holidays?
Yes, every year. We have something called Midsummer in Sweden, and it's usually around the 20th of June. And from around that date till around the 20th of August, I just close that window, and I do whatever. And I don't use my phone. I don't use. You can't get in touch with me during those 2 months.
That's a good way to go.
Yes, and that's recharging my batteries. That's how I do it. And for some reason, the last couple of years, I've spent most of that time in my garden actually.
Okay.
We bought a house 3 years ago, and amazingly enough, I immediately started gardening, and I've never done that before. It was like, and I figured this is not going to last. I'm going to find this very boring in like 2 weeks. And then I figured, nah, next summer, no, it's not going to work next summer. This was like first year.
Yeah.
And it's even worse. I mean, I'm totally dedicated to that garden.
But that's brilliant though. It means that
it's
you
like
find
therapy.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's like, you dig for the little thingy, and you just take out the weed, and things grow, and it's fantastic.
Oh, that's brilliant. Excellent. Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Excellent. Now, do you find as the competition it's so popular every year, do you find it harder to convince artists to take part in the competition? Because there's a part where you guys actively call up artists to see if they want to take part. Do you find that's harder for them to say yes? Or?
It actually varies from one year to another.
Okay.
It all depends. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on the outcome of Melodifestivalen as a show. It depends on the perception from the audience one year. It depends on the success of the songs that participated the year before, and a little bit about the positioning in the Eurovision. And I mean, I can remember some years when we had a really bad result in Eurovision. It can be tricky to find, especially established artists.
Right. Okay.
That's happened a few times. Now it's quite easy. At this very point, it's been quite easy because we've had a number of years where we've struck lucky with results.
Yeah.
So at the moment, people don't seem to remember that it's only 5 years ago that we had 5 years of really bad results. So that's sort of the distant memory at the moment. But we'll be there again. Everybody gets there from time to time.
Yeah.
So it's going to be back, but there's not a specific rule. It's not like now it's going down or now it's going up. It's like this.
Yeah.
It goes up and down.
How big is the hunger for Sweden to win it again this year? So close after 2013. Is there like common?
You know, if you enter a competition, you should always want to win. But you also have to be very realistic. It's 40 countries who all want desperately, almost all of them want desperately to win.
Yeah.
The competition is fierce and everybody spends an enormous amount of energy, money, time and everything to obtain this goal. And you should be so extremely humble to the fact that we actually have won at all, you know? Do we want to win again? Yes, of course we want to win again. Would we handle it? Yes, we would handle it. Would we want to win? Yeah, of course. But there's a lot of competition and a lot of good songs and a lot of good artists.
Yeah, that's my impression as well. The last couple of years, it feels like the vocal abilities of the artists have
And also the top. I mean, there's always like somewhere between 5 and 7, 8 songs that can potentially do it. You know, every year. It's the same every year. Even if you, from the beginning, when you hear them, you say, this is a good year or this is a bad year. After a few times, it's like, well, and they slowly, that groove forms, and you can see the shape of it. And it's definitely so this year again. And in the end, it's actually, when it's a close race, when there's several contenders, it will in the end have to do with where in the show you are. There's a huge difference between being in the first 5 or the last 5, for example, if you look at the statistics. So, yes, a lot can happen.
Now, you represented Sweden yourself in 1992.
Yeah.
How were you at the time, if you compare you being prepared for that moment at the time and the way that you're preparing the artists now? Is it at all comparable, or is there any influence that you've drawn out of your preparation back then in the artists?
Yeah, well, I use that experience all the time, also in the Swedish selection show, because I mean I know exactly what it takes to stand there. I know exactly what it takes to win. And of course I use that. But is there a difference? Well, the difference is that it's more countries now, more people, it's bigger, more journalists. Everything is bigger, but the work is the same. And it's the same amount of rehearsals. So I mean, it looks very much the same from that point of view. Pressure, well, there's always pressure when you compete for your country. Because everybody expects you to do well.
Have you ever considered going back?
No. I mean, it's so bloody difficult to win in Sweden. It's terrible. It is.
Yes, I have to say it's always a very strong selection. And, so you guys are doing a great job.
No, I do not. I mean, it's so rewarding for me to be the producer, and it's fantastic to have the channel behind me, the SVT, and they give me so much freedom in the creative process. And I have a colleague, Christer, and we do this together, and it's fantastic. We just report to them and say we have these plans, and very rarely do they say no, you can't do that. They're very good.
That must be a brilliant feeling, and knowing that
we have their confidence.
Yeah, which is it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for this, and we'll see each other in Vienna.
Yes, we will. We will. Thank you.
Thank you.
And good luck to you.